frustrating evening, not the results that we were after. I need to do a better job leading this team, and this is on me. Obviously, I did not do a good enough job preparing the staff, preparing the players for a very good Ball State team that came in and were more disciplined than us, played consistently better than we did. We didn't do a good job in the gotta-have-it situations that we stress and emphasize. To go 8 for 20 on third down and to only score on 1 of 3 red zone chances and be 1 of 3 on fourth down opportunities as well. We didn't win those critical moments. We were not consistent enough, and that's on me. And I got to lead better so that we can maximize the talent that we have healthy so that we can win ball games like this and be better in the future.
Let's open up for questions. Alan, is that you?
Starts with soccer, 13 on court. First one, just talking about what went right there, and then the second thing was kind of the flip side.
Yeah, I thought that we executed the early part of the plan well. The kids did a good job executing what was there in front of them, taking advantage of those opportunities. The defense started out really, really well, got us the ball in some advantageous spots. But to settle with 2 field goals, the way that we moved the ball early, with the explosive offense the way that Ball State has, knew that would be tough to have those 3 points as opposed to finishing with touchdowns. And then obviously as things went along, we weren't as efficient in some areas where we needed to be, playing catch and consistently, throwing for efficient plays to stay ahead of schedule. And then, there's opportunities that we needed to have. And again, we just didn't have in those critical situations. Need to put our kids in better spots so we can convert on third down, we can sustain the drives, we can finish the drives, and then we can get timely stops when need be. But I thought the defense did a great job of battling all night long and giving us an opportunity. We just got to play better offensively, and we got to have a clean game in the kicking game. One of these weeks, we still have penalties, we have errors, and again, that's on myself, and I got to make sure our kids understand the importance of how this is all tied together.
You mentioned opportunity, several deep balls that you dismissed. You had some drops. You had a bunch of receivers out there because you're beat up. Just talk about the inability after the first quarter, especially, is to get rhythm in that next day offensively. Just not getting big plays are typically a big part of what you do.
Yeah, we had some opportunities that we weren't able to convert, and we felt like we could continue to get some matchups that we thought were good, probably a little bit too hard-headed by me, and need to put ourselves in some different situations to have a little bit more success as opposed to trying to go back to the well on some of those things too many times.
When did you know Colin would be able to start?
As the time off progressed and because of the rest that he got, we knew that he was going to be in a good spot, and I thought he did a good job with where he was at and the way that he was able to manage things.
Talk about the slide at the end.
Yeah, it's bad coaching by me. You got to make sure that he clearly understands what the rules, what the situation is, and when it's fourth down in that situation, he needs to know through me that sliding's not an option there, and that he's going to put his shoulder down. And I know that Colin will do that for us. So I didn't do a good enough job of letting him understand exactly what that is and to remove the grays so that on fourth down, sliding's not an option there.
Do you think his decision to slide had anything to do with his health?
No, I think it's poor coaching by me. I need to clearly articulate what that is to him. He's a kid. That's on me to make sure he knows what it is.
Just talk about the one position, the receiver, just guys keep going down. And then obviously you talked about it, and other people got to step up and all that. But just, have you ever seen anything as far as somebody go down in one position?
It doesn't matter if I've seen it or not. It's the situation that we're in. The next man has to step up. The next man needs to be preparing for the job that he wants. He's got to be willing to work for what that is because he never knows when his number is going to be called. And we got to be able to adjust and adapt as coaches. My feelings on the matter do not matter. It is what it is, and we got to be able to move and shake accordingly and adjust better and respond better than we did as a staff, than I did as a staff tonight to all the pieces that were going on, because we got a lot of good players, had enough good players to make enough good plays that we could win this ball game in all 3 phases. And because of my poor leadership, we didn't have an opportunity to do that.
They ride 2 guys real hard offensively. Just talk about those 2. Obviously, they're very tough to stop.
Yeah, they're good football players. We knew it coming into it that steal their back was going to be a big part of their offense, and that Jackson coming into the game, he was targeted over 90 times. And again, they targeted him 18 times. They gave Steele 29 carries. Those are the good players. You got to stop the good players in these games, in any game, right, to have a chance to win. And again, we didn't do that consistently enough. When they're back, you give it to them 29 times and he averages 6.6 yards a carry. That's a pretty efficient night, right? And then when their leading receiver can go for over 100 and a tutty, again, that's a pretty efficient night as well. So again, I got to do a better job putting our coaches and our staff in a better position to be successful so that we can have success.
Let's keep things going. Jack, any questions?
Yeah, Coach, for the most part, I feel like the defense kept you in the game tonight. Just talk about their performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gritty, tough. They fought. I mean, for the majority of the game, when we weren't doing a whole lot offensively, they kept rising up and doing a good job, not letting anything affect them, and they're giving us a chance to win. And there was too many opportunities that were squandered when they got big, timely stops to where we didn't turn them into points. So time after time again, that it becomes very challenging and difficult to sustain. So didn't do our piece. It's all three phases got to play together so we can play complementary football, and we did not do that enough consistently tonight.
You were able to move the ball early there, 13-0, but what were they able to do defensively from there to kind of slow you guys down?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a good job kind of junking up the front a little bit with some movements and everything and forcing the ball to spill to their edge players. And then again, our inefficiency, more so than anything that they did, just our inability to play catch consistently, really led to some of those advantageous situations that we were in.
Good. Questions from the back? Jacob?
Just talk about Pope's performance today, not only as a receiver, but what he was able to do kick return as well. Just talk about what he was able to do, especially stepping up some guys out.
Yeah, I mean, Polk's one of our better players, and I think we talked about it the last time that we were together, right, with guys going down. That Polk is a guy that's been in a lot of ball games, and he's at a spot health-wise now where he can carry, a full load, and so he's done that. And was able to impact the game in a lot of different ways tonight.
And then just talk a little bit more about Cooper. I think it's 3 straight games over 100 rushing yards. Just talk about what he's able to do for your team and what that means to your offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's, again, one of our best players. We know that he can carry a major workload. Again, to give it to him 32 times tonight, there's some spots where I thought like he could have carried it more. We could have been more efficient with him. And he's a guy that we can feed. He's a guy that goes about things the right way. He practices the right way. He attacks every single day the right way. And it's no surprise that week in and week out he continues to produce at a really high level, and he's consistently good, not occasionally great, because every single day he is consistent in who he is and how he shows up and the level at which he competes. So, Coop's a guy that has my utmost trust, and I know will be in the fight for the long haul with us.
One last one. You were 8 for 20 on 3rd down on offense, but just talk about what was going on there. What were they doing defensively to mismatch you on 3rd down?
They did a good job getting their hands to the football to disrupt some of our throws. They were doing a good job junking up the front. They applied some good pressure, and obviously 8 for 20 is not nearly good enough.
Coach, their secondary is real strong, and you had some guys that were non-starters that still got behind them a couple times today. Just off the fingertips, is that just a timing issue? Just Colin and those guys not working that much together, especially on those deep routes that just have to be spot on?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different factors that go into it, and maybe number of reps, but again, I think all those are just excuses. There's opportunities that are there, and there's opportunities that we got to capitalize on, and we got to make sure that that's who we are. That's how we operate, and we think those are good calculated shots, and so we got to maximize those as we go. For whatever reason you want behind it, we didn't get the job done, plain and simple. And this arena that we stepped into, maybe everyone else gets a redo. We don't. And, that's a hard lesson for our kids to learn. That's the beauty of this game of which we play. And that's why I think it's the greatest game in the world, because it teaches those hard life lessons that you really can't get anywhere else in this world right now.
Because they do something different with their tight. They put those 6'7", 6'6" in the slots that make for a real tough matchup. Was one of the adjustments moving Marvin out on the big guy and just making him not get off the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ability that they have and the position versatility with that kid, that's what we have with Marv as well. So being able to match that kind of size and length with Marv's size and length and his speed, I thought that was a good, favorable matchup for us.